Good morning, folks. So, this week I have noticed that there's been a lot of doom and gloom in the prepper community. So, I wanted to come on here and give you my reasons why I am a prepper. Okay? I don't consider myself one of these preppers who has a warehouse full of stuff. I I prepare for actual life situations that I have run into in my 30 plus years of being an adult. Okay, I'm 59 now. Most people have gone through, you know, getting laid off, getting fired. Not a lot of people have gone through being homeless. Not a lot of people have gone through, having to dumpster dive to put food on the table for their children. Okay? Unfortunately, I have that experience. So, when I started making decent money, one of the things that I started to do was put aside enough food for those situations, especially in construction, where when it gets cold, you don't work as many hours. So I started putting aside enough food to last through those week or 2 weeks, so that I would have it there for my family to use. Now, we should be aware of what's going on in the world, but the essence of being a prepper and a survivalist is that you can think on your feet and use the stuff around you when need be. So my preparedness has now moved into what I would like to say the fourth stage, where I'm actually putting stuff in the ground that will grow perpetually, so that if I'm hungry, I just go out in my backyard. Now, I know that a lot of you do not have that opportunity to do that, because you live, let's be honest, okay? Some of you who watch me live in your car. Some live in vans, okay? Some of you live in a tent, all right? Some of you stay in apartments. Some of you stay in condos, all right? Some of you actually have houses, but you are so stressed out on maintaining that house and keeping money coming in that you don't have anything left over at the end of the week. I totally get that. I get that. Okay. So I wanted to bring you back down to reality here, because a lot of these doom and gloom channels, they sell you on getting you to watch them because they are using you as money. Okay? That's just a God honest truth. And if you spout off enough doom and gloom, people give you money. So, should we be concerned about what's going on in the planet? Absolutely. But let's put a little bit of reality on there. let's get a little a hold of our emotions a moment and come at it practically. I have seen in the last 3 years especially, the practicality and the logic flee from adults. And if adults don't have that practicality and logic, the children sure as hell won't. So we need to get away from all this fear-mongering and start looking at things from a practical aspect. Practically speaking, every household should have 3 days of food and water for that household. That's practical. If you want to do more than that, that's fine. But you absolutely should have 3 days of food and water for the family in your house, minimum. And that food and water needs to be of the non-refrigerated type. And the reason I say that is, it's only a matter of time before we have a Carrington event, before a storm comes through, before somebody gets drunk and drives into the transformer down the road and knocks the power out for 2 or 3 days. That's practicality. That's not doom and gloom. That's just practicality. So, take it from a practical standpoint. Is there war on the horizon? Absolutely. I think we're at war already. I think it's just a matter of time before it's declared that we're in World War III. Okay? I think that practically speaking, we've all seen the increase in the price of food. We've seen the increase in the price of all goods. Practically speaking, a smart individual would take those as clues and would try and buy at a lower price before it goes out the roof. That's practical, okay? That's being practical. That's not being a crazy person. So I wanted to say that to people who are looking at all of these doom and gloom prepper channels, and they're like, these people crazy. No. We're not crazy. We're trying to be practical, okay? And yes, I know I look like a crazy person right now, but we're just trying to be practical, okay? I think a lot of people, when they hear that someone is a prepper, they're like, they put them in this little box, and they say, well, you know, they have 50 years of food on the shelf, right? Or they're this major survivalist, you know. Practicality changes from person to person and family to family. What is practical for me may not be practical for you. You have to come back down to reality and look at, can I financially afford to have these people scare me to death about the possibility that, oh, all the electricity is going to be gone forever. Oh, we're going to have troops in the streets, and we're going to have to fight. Really? Y'all, enough is enough, okay? Preppers don't think this way. Preppers think of what is best for their family, and they store up food for those times which they have already seen in their life is going to happen. That includes a job loss. That includes an illness, right? That includes, oh yeah, a storm came through and knocked half the town away. So now it's going to be a month before we have electricity here, because it's going to take them that long to put new lines in, right? And if you tell me you haven't seen that on the news, you're lying. You're lying. I think everybody who watches my channel realizes that right now, inflation is going out the roof. That's practicality. So I wanted to bring everybody back down to reality a little bit, because I think a lot of people look at the prepper community as a bunch of crazy people and conspiracy theorists. And we're not. At least I'm not. I'm a realist. And what I see reality-wise is the price of goods going out the roof. Now, some of that has come down. As more and more people move back into the workforce, some of that's going to come back down. But with our government spending out the chain, our taxes are going to go out the roof, okay? Which is going to make the price of goods go up. So, being a prepper, that's just practical at this point in time. So, that's me to you. Why I prep? I prep for job loss. I've had that in my life. I prep for the electricity going out. I've had that from storms. Okay? I prep for loss of hours due to no work. That's the 3 main reasons I prep. Right there. None of this doom and gloom that I see from some of these prepper channels. And I like to watch them, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of like everybody else. I like to watch some of the preppers and get the information from that. But I've seen a lot of it lately has just gone off the chain. You've lost it, okay? You need to come back down to reality a little bit, because some of you have really gone out, way out there in left field somewhere. And I think that if you don't come back down to reality, you're going to have mental issues later on down the road. Honestly. I'm just being honest. Because people are only going to deal with that fear-mongering for so long before they say, I've had it with you. That's the truth. And I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings when they watch this and it gets back to certain preppers. But I think that you need to review yourself every once in a while and what you're giving to the world by using this form of communication. Be safe, be smart, be practical. Bicycle.